Welcome into the Bassmaster Studios, and basically we've survived our second dose of a quarantine. We had the quarantine from the Classic to Lake Eufaula, and now we've had another quarantine since then. But joining us today is Mark Menendez, and we get to talk to longtime Elite Series pro and see what he's been doing since Lake Eufaula, where you didn't actually get to compete, Mark.
Well, that kind of stunk, Ronnie. Thanks for having me. I had a very freak accident happen where I bulged a disc when I set the hook on a Strike King 6XD. And most anglers know that you don't do that very forcefully, but the doctors told me I should have been playing the lottery at that time. And when this happened, I just swept the rod to the right. Everything was lined up like, you know, the stars, the planets and everything. And it's caused me a great deal of pain, and I've got some other problems that I'm dealing with on my recovery right now.
Well, just know Ronnie Moore over here at the Bassmaster Live desk right over there, I was fighting for you on behalf of fantasy fishing owners because everyone was like, man, I had Mark Menendez on my team, and man, he's costing me so many points. And I was like, easy. He is in serious pain. You need to give the man a break, and we're going to see if he can fish the rest of the Elite Series season. How many well wishes have you gotten from fans since they found out you couldn't fish?
It was been really great. I appreciate the folks that have reached out to me, and really disappointing. I was really fired up for Eufaula. You know, I grew up on the Tennessee River, and the ledge fishing is what I love to do, and we don't get to do that often on the Bassmaster Elite Series. But man, I had figured out some places that kind of looked like home on Barkley Lake, and one of them in which I call the rollover, and I found about 4 of those, Ronnie. And I had 4 nice schools of fish on those and a couple of others, and I was really looking forward to catching a lot of fish. I wasn't not going to make a prediction that I would have won, but I would have been a very solid competitor, and I was really looking forward to it.
So when you were taken to the hospital, checked out, see what the scans look like on your back to see if it was a surgery thing or a PT thing, did you get the chance to tune into ESPN2 while you're in the waiting rooms to see your fellow competitors going down on live TV? I know you've been in the sport a long time. I know Jerry McInnes was an innovator that wanted this to happen, and to see the sport be live on ESPN2 was probably pretty satisfying, even if you were not able to compete that week.
Well, it's always great when our sport gets to a venue like ESPN so we can introduce it to people that may not know a lot about our sport. It gives our sport so much credibility, and all the guys did so great. Yes, Ronnie, I was watching. My best friend, David Hutchison, came down and picked me up with his boys, and the boys drove the truck and boat home, and David took me to the Orthopedic Center in Huntsville, Alabama, which has been a longtime supporter of the Strike King Pro team and actually been our healthcare providers for a very long time. And Dr. Brian Carter got me in there, tested me out, got some x-rays done, and figured pretty quick that it wasn't surgery-like, but he said it's not going to be a lot of fun and it's going to be quite painful. So, yeah, I was sneaking a look every chance I wasn't talking to the doctor.
So since Eufaula, it's been a month. It's shocking. Like, I think it was July 10th or something like that, that was one of the final days of the event, a month after one of the final days. Have you just been flipping and pitching from your recliner in your living room? What have you been doing to try to get yourself ready to go in case the Elite Series started up in New York like we had originally planned it to?
Well, you see this right here, Ronnie? I'm reaching right now. I don't know if you can see it. See those little cartoons and stuff on there? That's been my PT regimen. So I've done a lot of these little silly exercises that don't look like much, but they're so darn important. I am going to have the nicest gluteus maximus muscles ever after doing all these stretches. But that's what I've primarily been doing. When I got home from Eufaula, those 10 to 14 days, I'll tell you right now, Ronnie, it was not fun. I couldn't sleep at night. Painkillers didn't help much. I just laid in bed trying to find a position that was comfortable. And I'll be honest with you, the tears were streaming several nights in a row. It wasn't fun. And then I started adding the PT in, and a little less pain and a little less pain. So, yeah, I flipped and pitched some here. I've been able to wander out to my pond in the front yard and tried a few of the new Strike King baits that are going to be revealed here on virtual ICAST this week. And so I have caught a few bass. I have not been in my skeeter boat, but I have caught a bass or two from the bank, and that's been very rewarding to get a catch a fish or two.
We kind of saw what's happening with you right now. We saw that happen kind of to Jamie Hartman a few years ago. He had to take a medical hardship. He had that sciatic nerve affect him as well. He actually had someone drive him to the Mississippi River, and he had to somehow try to, practice. And he said, I can't practice, Trip. I got to take a hardship. Is that something that you're pursuing? Are you going to try to make it to St. Lawrence, or are you realizing that a week heads up isn't going to be able to get it done?
Well, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and we're gonna have that consultation and see and let him evaluate me and see if we have to get an MRI or whatever we have to do at this point. I've been in contact with Tripp, letting him know my progress, letting him know where I stand, letting him know what I want to do. I don't want to sit out, Ronnie. I've had to do that back in 2005, withdraw from the Elite Series and take a medical, and then again when my wife was ill. So I know what that's like sitting on the sidelines, and I want to be a part of every Bassmaster Elite Series event that I possibly can, because it's so exciting to be there right now in the sport. The Elite Series is growing and prospering, and we've got all these young guys, and yeah, I'd like to be out there trying to knock the wheels out from under Buddy Gross's train that he's got moving forward, and Brandon Cobb and Shane LaHue, all those friends of mine that are out there doing so well. I'd love to be there, but it's not looking good. I'll be honest with you. It's not looking good right now, and we may have to take that exemption, but I'm waiting to the absolute last minute, Ronnie, to make that decision.
Well, for you, if you want to fish into your 70s like Mr. Rick Clunn, it might serve you better to take 6 Elite Series events off and call it a wash if you're able to, and then regroup in 2021. But I know, Ray Roberts in the Classic, we announced that during this break. You would love to go to Ray Roberts. It's going to be a fun destination for the Classic in Fort Worth. What do you expect if you're sitting on the sidelines watching it? What should fans expect to see go down there in March next year?
Doggone, Texas in March is so volatile for big bass. You remember I caught a giant not 70 miles from there in megabucks that set the all-time Bassmaster record on a spinnerbait, weighed 13.9. Somebody's going to catch a monster in Ray Roberts. There's some big ones swimming in there. So there's going to be fireworks. There's no doubt about it. It's Texas in early spring, March, pre-spawn, big fish moving up. It's going to be a real good tournament. I really wanted to be a part of that, but it's going to be tough for me to get there. So I'll be there either way, working or fishing. But, man, March, Texas, a moon coming. It's going to be fireworks. It's going to be big bass on a big stage for that one.
So I feel like, Mark Menendez, over this last month that you've been stern with your sponsors. I know they've been good to you over the years, but you're like, hey, I'm bored at my house. Send me all the ICAST goodies that you're going to debut, because I need something to play with in my living room while I'm kind of recovering. What are you excited about for ICAST coming out this week? We always use ICAST as kind of the bridge to the second half of the season. We kick off the Northern Swing. That's exactly what it's doing this year, except it's virtual. So what are you looking forward to from some of your sponsors that's coming out at ICAST?
Well, I've had several different things here that I've played with. Had a new crankbait from Strike King called the Hybrid Hunter, and I really wanted to get that thing out in some of these latter events that we were going to have and have a big advantage there. I've got one little thing here, Ronnie. Here it is right here. It's the Tour Grade Double Willow Leaf Spinnerbait. This is a new, completely redesigned spinnerbait from Strike King, a relatively smaller profile, hand-tied skirt, 13 pro-driven colors that come from our pro staff in a very unique head design with a hook in it that's quite different from most hooks. This hook is more of an O'Shaughnessy style instead of a round bend. And when I've hobbled out to my pond, Ronnie, and caught a few of my fish, had fish slash at that thing, that little hook just drilled them over here in the corner of the mouth. So good. I was really excited to see that. So this new spinnerbait from Strike King in 2 different sizes, a 3/8 and a half, double willow leaf only in this model right now, is really neat. And this is the first time Strike King has ever had a hand-tied skirt on a spinnerbait in many moons. So it's pretty cool bait. It's going to be a real good bait for burning on the surface or winding it slow. That lighter wire gives it a vibration for willow leaves that's comparable to most Colorados. So it's really a neat bait.
Well, there are some pros that put their stamp of approval on certain techniques or certain style bait, and if Mark Menendez puts his stamp of approval on a spinner bait, you know it's definitely good. So we look forward to seeing that at ICAST. We look forward to seeing you too. Maybe, Mark, if you don't get to fish the rest of the Bassmaster Elite Series schedule, maybe we can convince you to drive on over from that Kentucky residence over to the Little Rock studios and maybe do some Bassmaster Live with us, something like that. But hey, we hope all's well. We hope recovery goes well, and then we get to see maybe a Terminator version of Mark Menendez on the 2021 Elite Series.
Well, I promise you I won't be laying around eating Pop-Tarts and donuts. My girlfriend won't allow me to do that. She's an exercise instructor, so I've got to get better just so I can keep up with Melissa. So that's one thing. But, yeah, I will definitely love to come to Little Rock. That's one of the biggest challenges that I would have right now is making that 15-hour drive, 17-hour drive to Clayton and on over to Lake Champlain. That's what really aggravates this injury the most right now is being in a car. But I'm going to be watching everybody. I'm going to watch that ESPN2 coverage every minute of it if I'm not there, and cheer my friends on and cheer my fellow competitors on and cheer for the organization because Bass is doing more to promote the sport than you can imagine. So I'm really excited about that for all the anglers that are going to get that monstrous exposure. And I hope to slide into the studio there, Ronnie, and give you a hard time and work with Zona and Tommy and the rest of the guys during this. So I won't be idle, I promise.
I can't wait to hear the armchair quarterback columns from Mark Menendez on how his fellow competitors did that week of whatever event we're watching. So, Mark Menendez, appreciate your time. I look forward to seeing some of the ICAST stuff that's came out this week. Maybe I get to get a taste of it. I've got to play with the Hybrid Hunter actually and catch a few fish on it. I know that's a deadly one as well coming from Strike King. And we look forward to seeing you when you get better, and we look forward to hearing the progress of your PT as well.
Well, thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate it. Thanks to all the well-wishers. I'm grateful for all the support, and we will we'll stumble through this. And I mean that as you know what's actually happening to me. I'm stumbling along, but I will get better and I will be back. Hopefully, we'll know more tomorrow if I'll be able to slide up there to New York. But if not, I will see you guys soon. Thanks for having me.
Well, there's Mark Menendez, longtime Bassmaster Elite Series pro. We know he's overcame much bigger obstacles in life than a simple back injury. So we know he'll rebound quickly from that, and we look forward to seeing him on the Bassmaster Elite Series very soon.